We welcome you inside the studio on this quite cold Thursday evening for this week's edition of Panther Pregame. Thank you for joining us. Alongside my co-host Camden Hurst, I'm Nick Allen, and we are less than 30 minutes away from the men's basketball tip-off between the High Point Panthers and the Presbyterian Blue Hose Big South Conference matchup inside the Cubane Center. We're here to get you fully set for the action, breaking down players to watch, key storylines, and much more. So settle in, get warm, and let's dive into Panther Pregame. Look, Camden, the Panthers are currently 18-4 and 6-1 in conference play, which is second best behind Winthrop, who the Panthers dropped its only conference game to this season. And they won 2 straight games, but this game tonight holds much higher stakes as this will be a nationally televised game on ESPNU for one of 4 Big South wildcard games this season. And the Panthers are expected to get a big boost tonight as Cameron Fletcher is expected to play tonight, and it's unclear whether or not he will start. But whether or not, regardless, this is a major addition to a team that has still seen success even in his absence.
Yeah, Nick, even without Cameron Fletcher the last 6 games, this is a High Point team has had a lot of depth that they've been able to utilize this season. The Panthers had 27 bench points in their last game against Radford and 25 bench points in their loss against Winthrop. A lot of that has to do with the recent performance from Chase Johnson and his shooting ability from the bench.
Yeah, and he's had an up and down season, but he's really caught fire the past 3 games to fill in the void of Fletcher. Johnson is recently coming off a 15-point performance against USC Upstate 2 games ago, and he scored at least 9 points in the last 3 games. I expect him tonight to have just as much of an impact off the bench. Camden, look, another player that has really emerged, though, in his role this season has been Braden Housen. Yeah,
Nick, Braden has really stepped into the starting lineup while Fletcher has been missing for the past 6 games. He put up 17 points last game against Radford, which is the 6th time he scored in the double digits. Braden only played in 7 games last season and did not start in a single one, but he's been grinding this year and has appeared in every single game the Panthers have played and started in half of those games.
Yeah, and another guy that returned from last season under new head coach Flint Clayman is Terry Anderson, who has been on an absolute tear this season. He's recently coming off a career-high 31 points in the win against Radford last Friday and is averaging 20 points in 7 Big South Conference contests so far. He's been a big catalyst for the Panthers' success, especially in these last 6 games without Fletcher. Our own Ellie Hammer dove into the experience that has fueled not only his success, but the team's this season.
Second lead of the game. They led to
Terry Anderson is the longest tenured player of the High Point men's basketball team. With that experience comes leadership responsibility, and Anderson is continuing to grow into a role where his teammates look to him for direction.
I feel like sometimes my actions are followed more than others that I don't even notice, so I have to be like the example, and I got to do everything perfectly right every day, on and off the court. To me, it means a lot, to be honest, because I want to stay down for the culture, and I want to be like the blueprint for everybody else coming in and for years to come.
While prioritizing the culture the Panthers have built, Anderson has embraced the differences between the 2025 roster and the 2026 team, ensuring the program continues to meet the same standard.
I feel like the previous team, we rebounded a little better, and I still feel like we're learning how to rebound better, I feel like the culture is really basically the same. Like, the standard is the standard. We haven't really switched up anything. Stay down with the course. It's always hard to integrate people into a new culture, because some people come from different programs and it was different there, but it's hard to make them follow this culture that we have. But I feel like they all getting down with it now.
After helping lead the Panthers to a historic Big South Conference title in 2025, Anderson now turns his focus to the goals he has set for the upcoming season.
For sure, going to the tournament and being one of the best High Point teams ever.
For Panther Pregame, I'm Ellie Hammer.
I mentioned earlier, this is the first year that Terry is playing under head coach Flynn Clayman, but Terry is all too familiar with the first-year head coach, as Clayman previously served as the associate head coach for Allen Hurst the last 2 years, making it easier for Anderson to get adjusted to this season, which is clearly evident by his 5 20-point games and 15-point-per-game average this season.
Clayman has such a good relationship with all of these guys, but what many don't know about his relationship at home. His wife, Katie Clayman, is an assistant coach of the women's basketball team here at High Point University. I got the chance to personally sit down with both Flynn and Katie last week to discuss how they navigate a double coaching lifestyle with their 18-month-old at home. Let's take a look. For Flynn and Katie Clayman, High Point University wasn't just another coaching stop. It was a leap of faith that quickly became home.
I just remember getting a FaceTime from him, and he was on campus. He was probably right outside the Cabane Center. He's like, "This place is unreal. You just have to believe me." And we were about to get married in a month as well. I was like, "Okay, let's do it." So that was basically the conversations. And then there was, I was hopeful that there's a bunch of Division I schools nearby that hopefully would hire me because of my resume. And then I think Banbury hired me 3 days later. So it was just a huge blessing, and it's such a good story, and it's worked out so well. We get to raise our 18-month-old, in the hallways and in the gyms, working side by side together.
That togetherness extends far beyond the court. With Flynn traveling with the men's team, their son has grown up around basketball, just not always the same team.
And with our son, she honestly handles most of it because he's so young. So he's traveled some with the team, and he's 1.5 or a little over 1.5 now. So he's kind of been with her for the past 1.5 years on the road.
The Clayman's first year at High Point also happened to be their first year of marriage, a season filled with new routines, shared meals, and a growing appreciation for the community around them.
And then we went through our first year of marriage just loving life at High Point University. I think we ate at the cafe every night because I was like, why would I cook? This food is great. And then obviously we had our son 18 months ago, and it's been amazing. I mean, we just love the family atmosphere, President Cabane all the way down to Dan Hauser, down to Banbury.
But building that life together always requires sacrifice, especially on Katie's end.
She's sacrificed a lot, so she's had to sacrifice more of her career to make this work. She's had a ton of opportunities, head coaching opportunities. Moving up in men's coaching is generally a slower process, just the amount of people trying to do it. So she had opportunities to continue to coach in Utah. And when I had this opportunity to come be an assistant, and she turned those down to come here with me.
For the Claymans, those sacrifices have paid off, not just in wins and losses, but in belonging.
It's everything. I mean, obviously as basketball coaches, you're kind of like nomads, you kind of go where the job is. And it can be a tough life, especially the third, fourth move. And so to find a place like this that we want to stay and call home and raise our kids is just huge. I have this running joke, and I want to make it like a patent t-shirt: God, family, country, and then HPU basketball.
At High Point, the Claymans aren't just coaching 2 programs. They're building a family together, one season at a time. Well, that is all we have for you guys tonight. Make sure you tune into the game at 9 on ESPNU. Once again, I'm Camden Hurst.
And I'm Nick Allen. You stay classy, High Point.